So what is happening today with housing and homelessness policy? Are we getting better at that, increasing affordable housing?
We're not getting much better. I think we're kind of in a standing still. I think that we see lots of announcements that go on about housing, so it seems that we are doing better. Um, so just to go back on our housing history a moment, it's worth kind of taking stock here is that if, after we had the increase, the federal government, provincial government, municipal government intervention in the 60s and the 70s and into the 80s, by the middle of the 1980s, the federal government and other governments began to roll back some of those programs, not investing as much into the affordable housing, or not affordable housing, sorry, social housing. Affordable housing is a completely different thing, which we can get into later on. But not investing as much into the creation, establishment, and operation of social housing. And then by 1993, the federal government says we're not going to invest in any new housing. We will remain and continue to fund our commitments, existing commitments that we've made in the past, but we're not going to provide funding for any new social housing. Some of the provinces followed suit. In Ontario in 1995. Mike Harris, the Conservative government, came in, and they were actually the provincial governments, in many cases, as a result of the federal government stepping back, actually stepped up their commitments. In Ontario, that happened in the early 1990s, where the provincial government did try to continue to create new housing. But then on Ontario in 1995, the provincial government said, no, we're canceling all existing projects that are planned. And then you also get devolution of housing, first from the federal to the provincial to the municipal government. So now cities are now being forced to then have to pay much more to help to maintain and operationalize these housing programs. And so by the early 2000s, though, you do begin to get, well, really by 1999, and then a little bit after, you begin to get federal intervention again, provincial intervention again. You start to get some new funding initiatives. But what you find, and looking at the report, the most recent financial accountability office report in Ontario from just a few months back in 2021, has looked at the federal commitments, the provincial commitments until 2027-28, and really, there's not much going to change. You're really not going to get much more for all of the big announcements, the federal government's announcement in terms of their national housing strategy, putting billions of dollars into housing. A lot of that's going into helping developers or helping the private sector. There's not a lot necessarily going into that's going to establish housing that's going to address many of the needs of low-income people in Ontario. And so when you think about ideas around core housing need, people who are in core housing need, adequate, secure, affordable units, those numbers are going to, their estimates in Ontario in 2027-28 is that the same proportion of the population of Ontario 10 years, in 27-28 will be the same as it is now. So we're really not going to do any better. There are some good initiatives on the go. The creation of the Canada-Ontario Housing Benefit will do something. But I mean, what's interesting, and this is true in Toronto, where I study most of my work, even as the city tries to build more supportive housing, they're trying to fast track housing. They're losing housing at the same time. So these cities, these major growing cities, even as they're trying to build new or establish or create new units, affordable units or deeply affordable units, they're losing units as well at the same time. And so it's a cat and mouse game, and we're not investing enough. We're not pointing enough resources to where it needs to be had in that regard.